Here we go with line 18. Hey, these things, so quizque. Each one, as he was passively summoned, he was summoned in order, each person summoned in order. These are the things that went on. And it came to me, it was his turn. I consurged, I got up, and I used what is in the initial part of my book, the first few lines, and I responded singularus to each line or to each question. Mirum, something like it was a bit miraculous or amazing, with what intention or attention, in which everything, this would be all these things he was talking about, were received, excipiented with a clamour, so people were applauding. These are people who only recently, modo sort of means now or recently, they had been reclamabating, so they'd been contrary to him, but now they were receiving his words with a bit of a clapping. Tanta conversio, looks ablative, with such a conversion, either by the worthiness, the dignitatum of the business, what it deserved, or the proventum, probably means something like success, if that's a fourth declension, of his speaking, of his oration, or it was subsecutus, or followed by the, I don't think that should be a capital, by the constantium, that's like his the steadfastness and the consistency of the auctoritas, as I spoke, right, of the speaker, you might want to say, of the person who's behind it all. So, in the beginning, they were reclamabating, and then they received it all well with clamor, and he's just saying that there was conversions in their nature because of the dignity of it, or the success of how well they'd done it, or just because of how maybe respected it is with the constantium. 19, finio. I'm ending it all. It's probably in the past tense, so I'll finish speaking. Venento, he incipited to respond, he began to respond, but no one would suffer it or allow it, nemo patator. Obturbator, there was a bit of a disturbance, there was some obstrepiting, that's a bit of shouting. Adio, to such an extent indeed, that he, this would be Venento, or Venentius, he declared, he said, I ask you, vocatives, patres conscripti, the Senate fathers, nay, cogites, don't you force me to implore help of the tribunes. Et statum, and immediately, Murena the tribune, he's inquitting something, there's a quotation, I permit it to you, taking the dative, via clarissima viento. Okay, so this is the vocative, so his name must be Viento, because if it was a second declension US, that would be an E in the vocative, like with clarissime. So he's saying, I'll permit you to speak. You are, respected man, etc. There's dicere meaning to speak. Tunc quoque reclamator. So then also was some reclamoring going on. Amongst these delays into Morris, the consul, having cited some names, having called out some names, and with the discension peracted, so all the differences are acted out basically. Looks like the consul here has dismissed the Senate, and almost still he's left standing venentionem. So it's the declension, and these go together in apposition. Tempting to speak, so everyone's left, and this guy's here standing trying to talk. Illy, so he, concerning this, has done much, or said much, for this insult, contumelia, or thus as he calls it. So he's, concerning this insult, as he calls it, he's said much, questus, so he's complained a lot. With this Homeric verse, which is in Greek, as Homer was, what's that in English? My lord, the young fighters are surely too much for your age. Quoted from the Iliad, Book 8, line 102. Okay. 21. Non ferre. Ferre is the same as Fermi. Just means almost or nearly or something like that. For not quizquem, not anyone there was in the Senate who non-me complected, who didn't embrace me. Almost everyone did, looks like. And ex-osculator, osculars the kiss, but ex-osculars, probably in the same vein as complecting. And with contesting, Curtatim, they accumulated me with some lauds, with some praises, that the intermission, which now for a long time, this morem, in a public way of consolending, suscept was taken up. Approprius means it's personal belonging to you, and simultatus is like fighting or brawling or actions or something like that. So I've taken up personal actions and reduxism. I've returned with these things which have been missing for a long time in the public council of taking up these private rivalries or something. Quod deniqui, something like which finally or in short, Liberassumide liberated the Senate with its from its invidia, it's like odium and hatred, etc., which was flagrabating, which was burning amongst the other ranks, you might want to say. It would be lower order than the Senate, the other public officers and equestrian ranks and plebs, etc. That the severity which there has in with the accusative towards other people, which had spared mutually, as if it had spared mutually from its own senatorial ranks, dissimulations or like pretenses or etc. So it's basically, that little section there, he's claiming personally to have freed the Senate from this thing which is in all the other ranks, and the severity they have towards the other classes, which had been exclusively, it looks like, in the Senate, they've been sparing themselves from these sort of pretenses or whatever. How far are we going down to there? So 22, Haec acta sunt absente certo. So certus was absent while these things are being acted out or played out. For he was either he was suspicious of such a thing, tale aliquid, or, as he made an excuse, he was infirm, which means he was sick. Et quidam relationem. So indeed this relation, which means something that's related to the Senate, it's like a motion, I think they call it, concerning him, Caesar did not remit. He didn't send such a action to the Senate. Tamen. Nevertheless, I obtained what I had intenderammed. For the colleague of Sertius, the consultam, he was got the job. Sertus accepted a successor. Someone took his place. Pliny, factum est. It was as what I had said in fine at the end. Read out. Return the premium, the reward, under the best princeps, which under the best emperor, return the reward, which by the worst one he had accepted or received. Afterwards, my action, his action in the Senate, ut cunque, of whatever, potui I was able to recall or recollect, and I added multa, and I added much to it. 24. Accidit fortuitum. So fortuitously it happened, but non tamquam, not just as it was such fortuitousness, that with the books edited, certus within porcissimos day, within, that's not a superlative, with a very few amount of days, implicatus, he was implicated in a morbidness. He got sick and he deceased, and he left life or whatever. 25. Audivi. I heard, present participling, I heard people referring it or saying that this image in his mind, wandered, obered, this wandered before his oculus, before his eyes, just as if he had viderated me, he had seen me, imminerang, threatening to himself, Sibi, with Pharaoh, with a sword. So Maybe he had a dream or an image of Pliny threatening him, emanaring him with a sword. And daily dictionaries, relatio, feminine noun, laying of matter before the Senate, such a motion, or referring back the case to the magistrate. Okay, not to be confused with the relation in English, which is someone you're related to. Here's a question with nay. This is true. I don't dare to affirm. Interest usually means it makes a difference, or it's has some meaning. Nevertheless, I'll take this as an example or something like this. That it should seem to be true. So he's just making an example. He's saying he's not going to dare say it's true, but perhaps you should use it as an example, as it might seem true. End to end. Habes epistulam. You have this letter. If you think of it as the length of a letter, you have read the books which, so it's not less than the books that you have read. Okay, so he's comparing this as a long letter compared to books. But imputibus, who contentus, you're not content with books, vale. Okay, imputing or it's like laying a charge. You can sometimes say, but if you're thinking this, yeah, whatever you want to call that. He's contentus, past passive, and libris is books, and non fuisti means you weren't. So it says, so if you weren't content with these books or speeches, you can blame yourself, probably imputibus tibi.